I will tell you, for example, the TSP in the military, I contributed to that. It was dollar for dollar that the government would match me, and 50 cents on the dollar, anything over 5%. So they would match 100% up to 5%. They would match 100% of what you match. So if I put in a dollar, the government would put in a dollar. If I put in $5, the government would put in $5 up to that limit, whatever that equaled for the 5%. Um, and over years, you could watch it elevate. Uh, it's not something that happens overnight. Another thing too that people won't tell you in something like the TSP, which is, I didn't have a 401k, I had a TSP. But with that, you could go in and there were different funds. So like they have the G fund, the C fund, they have L funds, life cycle funds. Depending on when your retirement age is, it will tell you about what date you will retire. And you could go in there and you could play with that. You could put 100% allocation into the C fund, 100% allocation in the G fund. Basically, the G fund is minimum risk, not a whole lot of reward. So you have money in there that you don't really have to worry about anything happening to it, but you're not going to gain a whole lot of money over a period of time. Whereas if you investing in the C fund, which is what I chose to do, you would actually make a lot more money, but there's a lot more risk depending on the market. There's international funds, like I said, there's life cycle funds. So school of thought, and it's correct. Traditional thought in business and finance, if you go to see an advisor, they're going to tell you that in the beginning of your career, you want to be very aggressive. So it's a lot more risky, but you will gain a lot of wealth if the market is suitable for that. And with the thought that if you lose because the market has a big downside, you will be able to regain it because you have plenty of time until the end of your retirement. Versus if you are trying to be more aggressive towards the end of your retirement, that's foolish because if the market crashes, you have no time to make it up. So the C fund would be considered an aggressive contribution, but I utilized it. It worked out really well for me. I have some other tips and tricks that I'm going to get into with you guys as far as the stock market goes, kind of what I did, how I built it up, to the point of where it is today. But to be honest with you, you'll hear a lot of people tell you, well, you can only do that if you're rich. I make, whatever it is, $12 an hour at McDonald's. How could I ever do that? You can do that. If you are smart and you get a piece of paper and you plan your money going out and your money coming in, and you have an excess of funds, and you are smart with those funds that you have in excess of, you put it in a bank account. A regular savings account is not going to give you any return unless you're in a money market account. But if you're able to do the math on it and contribute to a 401k or a TSP, or even have the money that you're investing into, say, the S&P 500, or even something cheaper that's on the stock market, a percentage of a stock, whatever it is, you have to do your homework. But the point is, there's money out there to be made. It just takes effort. You have to comb through your finances, look at your bank statements, look is this money going out worth it if I had an extra $20 to put in my retirement account? $20 every month, that doesn't sound like a lot, but I think even people who are just barely scraping by, and look, I have barely scraped by before. Back in 2018, however long ago that was, 8 years or so ago, I was a correctional officer, and I was making $30,000 a year. Not a whole lot of money. Actually, in our morning muster, the warden told us that we could get on food stamps. So I wasn't making much at all. I was living in a really small, rundown 1973 trailer, and I can upload some pictures on my channel in the future. When I do future videos, I'll make sure I put that stuff in there so you guys can see it if you're interested. Rundown 1970 something trailer, 6 of us, 4 kids and my wife, 6 of us in total, on a $30,000 a year salary. and I was able to stack up. I think I got close to $20,000 at the time, which was a lot of money to me at the time. Doesn't seem like so much now, but at the time it was a whole lot. And I worked on myself. I applied for different jobs to try to, get a better job, making more money. Because let's face it, I mean, the more money you have coming in, the more money you can invest. The more money you can invest, the more homework you do. As far as investments go, whether you're leveraging a 401k or a TSP, or you're playing in the stock market and getting dividend returns, or compounding is your friend. So if you stack that money up, you put it into a smart investment, you will see a return. It just takes a little bit of homework, not a whole lot of time. I mean, I'd wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock, and I would watch TV while I drink my coffee, but it would be something financial related. So I'd see what the market was doing worldwide, what people were talking about, what seemed hot, what could I buy into next to make a little bit of money. And I just do that every morning. So you kind of have to immerse yourself in the space, but I will tell you, money it's not the key to happiness, but it will make you much more comfortable. And with comfortability comes happiness. And a lot of people in America, and probably all around the world, but especially in America, are unhappy with the rat race. Unhappy with leaving their family for 8, 10, 12 hours, however many hours their shift is a day, and giving their time up for a paycheck. We have to do it because we have to keep the bills on, the bills paid, the lights on, the water on, everything else, all the necessities, food and everything else. So it's essential that we do that. But we get stuck in a job that we don't really like, so we get unhappy and stressed out, and then we'll work all week, and then when the weekend comes around, we try to we stay distracted as a nation anyways, constantly with the phones, but we're just always unhappy, and then we're waiting until the weekend. We're basically wishing our life away, but we continue to do the same thing. We never put in the time, the investment into ourselves to watch people. I mean, nowadays with social media and all the technology, you can get online if you know what to search for. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot. Financial freedom, or whatever you're looking for, how to leverage your 401k. It's all out there. If you want to find it, you can find it. I think the thing is people get so confused when they see different pieces of advice. You should invest in this, you shouldn't invest in that, this is good, that it scares them to the point where they're already unhappy, so they don't want any more stress, so they just don't pay attention to it. But you have to pay attention to it, because if you could break free of the rat race and be an entrepreneur, retire early, the different things that people want to do, you would be much happier, you would be much more comfortable. But it's going to take some time now. You have to start now to put in that effort. Be disciplined. Do your homework. Get a notepad. Write down what's coming in, what's going out. Look at your bank statements. What can you go without? Do I need these new shoes right now? No, probably not. More than likely not. So let's try to shift our mindset to say, we're just going to live, 2 years. Or a year, or 6 months. Just start out something that's reasonable. The next 3 months, I'm not going to get fast food anymore. I'm going to start doing my meals, prepping my meals, go out, buy bulk, and I'll be able to minimize money in the budget, and I can take that extra money and I can put it into my retirement account, whatever that account looks like. Whether you're leveraging a 401k or you're playing in the stock market, it may be a diversified thing. Maybe it's not just a brokerage account. Maybe it's not just a 401k account. Maybe it's not just a money market account or a CD. It's spread out, but let's just say that is all part of your retirement. And we'll talk about diversification and stuff too, but you just have to shift your mindset to say, I'm gonna, next 3 months, no more fast food. I save $50, and this month I'm gonna set that aside. $50 next month, and before you know it, you have $150 set in an account. You buy in on something You know, maybe you make $50 on that, so now you're at $200, and you just keep doing that. You know, just watch the market, do your homework. Um, like I said, depending on where you're at in life, maybe you want less risk, or maybe you want more risk, more reward. It's up to you. It's really situational. But I will tell you, you know, you can do it. It's not that difficult. It is intimidating. So, you know, I think that turns a lot of people off. But you can do it. Everybody can do it. And I'm here to help you do it. So, we'll talk more in the future. Godspeed.